Ken Rosenthal joining us now. Tell us your reaction to this last night.
Heartbroken. The same reaction everyone else had, and the reaction that Albert Almora Jr. had as well. And first of all, the thoughts are with the little girl. That's number one, goes above everything else. This has long been a concern of players. This goes back years, 2007, 2012 collective bargaining agreements. They brought it up, did not bring it up the last collective bargaining agreement because baseball had taken steps. Commissioner Rob Manfred had already started talking about extending netting. And for the 2018 season, all 30 clubs agreed to extend netting to the far ends of the dugouts. And some teams, including the Mets and the Yankees right here in New York, have gone further than that, down the foul lines. So the question remains, how far do you go? Do you go all the way around the stadium? Well, there was a death last year in Dodger Stadium last August. Linda Goldblum, celebrating her 79th birthday, 59th anniversary, was killed by a batted ball. So that on top of last night, and you have the issue surfacing all over again. And it's the most disturbing issue right now you can even imagine. The issue for baseball is trying to figure out the proper way to address it. Now, one way, the most extreme way, and Albert Almora actually mentioned this last night, netting around the entire field, including the outfield. Now, that's not how far they go in Japan and Korea. They go all the way down the lines, but they don't go all the way in the outfield. And people might say, that's crazy. You would never want to do that. Well, Yankee Stadium, short right field porch, you never know. So there is always going to be this question, what is the right spot? Do you cover it all? Do you leave some protected? And what we have, and the reason this is a debate at all, some season ticket holders complain about the netting. Now, the technology has advanced to the point where it's barely even an obstruction, but this to some people is a concern. Therefore, it is a club concern, and we have this balancing act that is going on. So the commissioner faces that. He has to deal with the clubs. He has to deal with the issue at hand, which, of course, is safety. And it remains to be seen in the wake of this incident if teams on their own act on their own, or if the commissioner steps in. Now, there's one other element I should mention as well. All ballparks are different. So in Oakland, you have a vast amount of foul territory. It's a different scenario than, say, San Francisco. So these are why the commissioner in general has preferred the clubs to act on their own. Whether he takes the additional step and just mandates netting all the way down the lines, as is the case in Japan and Korea, that remains to be seen.
We are praying for that little angel. Keep us posted, would you, Ken? The Astros will be without their star shortstop. Fractured a rib, so now it's Springer out, and Altuve and him. Will they look internally to
First of all, Lauren, on a lighter note, I am now wondering if massages are going to be added to the list of prohibited activities in player contracts. Now, I don't know exactly what happened here, but when Carlos Correa returns, he's going to have some explaining to do. Yeah. Because has anyone ever heard of a player getting a broken rib from a massage? Here's what he said. I'm extremely disappointed about not being on the field with my teammates. I sustained the rib fracture during a massage at my home on Tuesday. To sustain an injury in such an unusual way makes it even more frustrating. However, I will work hard to get back on the field as quickly as possible to help our team achieve our goal of winning another championship. Third straight year, Correa has suffered a pretty significant injury. This one is the most baffling yet. And for a guy who really looked hell-bent on winning the MVP, it's crushing. And for the Astros, they're going to win the AL West no matter how many body blows they take, but they are taking on significant injuries here. Altuve is out. Aledmys Diaz, the backup infielder, is out. So here's Correa. What they will do is move Bregman to short. That's the obvious move. That was what he was in college at LSU, a shortstop, and a really good one. They've got options around the infield. Jack Mayfield is up. Gurriel is going to bounce all over the place. They can do some other things as well. But without Correa, without Altuve, who is off his rehabilitation assignment now because his leg has acted up again, he's several weeks away. They're not going to be the same team. And remember, they're already missing George Springer on top of all that. So they're going to be challenged for a few weeks. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. It's incredibly disappointing, I'm sure, for him. I'm sure for the team. And, again, a little bit baffling as well. I'm not ever getting a massage again, D-Row. Not that I've ever gotten one in the first place, but now I'm staying off the table.
It's funny. I mean, you hear it, you're like, no way. All right. But I will say this. And it's become the new wave. Towards the end of my career, this ART, this deep tissue, and I don't know what Correa was doing, this deep tissue massage to the point where you're like jumping off the table, Tom Brady.
Fracture a rib?
Tom Brady. They're pushing, like taking like
All right.
wooden dollies and driving it into your calf to kind of release everything. Kind of like the whole Tom Brady pliability of muscles. I can't imagine.
Hey, one guy I forgot to mention, Tony Kemp. He's also going to be in the mix at second base. They brought up Miles Straw, another guy. These are not the Astros we recognize particularly, but they should be okay. And at some point also, Jordan Alvarez, the stud hitting prospect at AAA, more of a DH than anything. He's going to come up and supplement their offense as well.